Hey everybody, happy IM 911 Day. Ricardo, congratulations on what you've been able to accomplish and what you've done for this industry. When I joined the 911 industry many years back, leaving the fire service to move into the dispatch center, it was something that I really didn't have many expectations for. I didn't know what to expect. I went through an amazing rookie school, got trained at the highest level at my home agency at Guilford Metro 911, and got to experience a lot of great things. There was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of bad calls, a lot of good calls. You know, one of the bad calls I can say working were at one of the worst times, or one of the most unexpected times of the time of day when these calls would come in. It's actually on a Sunday morning, early in the morning, probably about 10 a.m. and received a call from a husband who had just been shot by his kind of separated lover, his ex-wife, his mother of his many kids, I think 3 or 4 kids. And come to find out, throughout the next couple hours, I was always also working the local county sheriff radio. And by the next 20 minutes from that first 911 call, we ended up having shots fired, emergency alerts set off. Come to find out that the mom had not only tried to kill her ex-husband and the father of her children, but she had also killed all of her kids and also a couple of their friends who happened to be spending the night at their house. I think it ended up being a total death count of 7 after she committed suicide. And I remember the very emotional feeling of not only me, but my coworkers and the deputies on the road that went through that call with us. And you know, it's kind of one of those feelings when a child loses their life, especially to a parent. It's one of those things that you always search for why. What could I have done more? What could I have done better? Maybe what could we as a team could have done quicker to be able to intercept her before she ended up killing the 3 kids she had in her car and also herself. But on the flip side of that, there's always the good calls. There's the calls that we should focus on more. There's the calls that we kind of dream of, the calls that we simulate in training, the calls that we want to have our career remembered by, and those are the suicidal callers, or the callers that have thanked us at the end. You know, maybe they're a home invasion. And one call that comes to mind for me was actually a 911 call that come in from one of our city police officers' wives. And she was at her apartment, and her husband was actually home, and they had somebody trying to kick in their front door. And him, as a law enforcement officer, he quickly engaged as a police officer. He didn't try to open the door and confront the suspect. He pretty much just drew his weapon and sat back and tried to be as calm as possible, but he asked his wife to call 911. And I was lucky enough to answer that call, and I was able to talk to her for, you know, probably 10 to 15 minutes as other police officers arrived on scene, as they cleared the area, as they deemed it safe. And one of the most memorable parts of that call was not me hanging up and feeling like I had done a good job, but it was days later when I actually got a letter through my supervisor from that police officer thanking me for doing a fantastic job and simply just comforting his wife as he was engaged in his police officer mindset. And it's just one of those things that we don't hear thank you enough in the industry. And Ricardo, that's what you've done for us through the IM 911 movement. You've empowered us as human beings. You've empowered us as public safety first responders, as we are the first responders. And just congratulations once again. Thank you for everything you've done. And I proudly say that my name is Ryan Chambers, training specialist at Rapid Deploy, and IM 911.